Hi creators, I'm Kevin. I'm a graphic designer, artist, and woodworker. Today I'm teaming with Varathane so that we can show you the step-by-step process on how we created a modern hanging wall planter. Now, let's get to building. Starting any project off, I like to start with a sketch. This is going to answer any questions that I have about how the build is going to go, and in the end, it's going to save some time because we know exactly what we're doing. And during this process, I really gained some inspiration about the color, finish, and definitely the design of the piece. I don't have to commit to anything because it's just a sketch. All I have to do is write up a shopping list and I can go and get all of my materials. And speaking of shopping lists, now we have everything we need to complete this project. Premium fast dry wood stain in Western oak, water-based polyurethane, we need our actual wood, and we need the glass vase that's going to go around it. This glass is 6 inches tall, and we're going to build the project around that. To fasten the piece together, we need wood glue, screws, clamps, a drill, and drill bits. Sandpaper in 180 and 220 grit, and for a full list of materials, check out the description below. Now, we chose to go with oak for this project because it's an extremely durable, hard wood that's going to pair perfectly with our water-based polyurethane. Now, we're going to be cutting it with a miter saw, and if you don't have a miter saw, no problem at all. You can have your local hardware store cut it down to size for you before purchasing your wood. Now, to cut down the backer board for our planter, I'm going to take my board and just measure the 7.5 inch mark. I'm going to take that and move that over to my miter saw. And now I'm just going to align my board with the blade. And then once everything's aligned, boom, we can let her rip. And now we've marked this board just like we did with our previous step, but we're going to move it to our 3 inch. So I'm going to align this with our miter saw and we're going to cut again. And now that we've got our back and our top cut, we just need to make a hole for our vase to be able to fit through. To cut that hole, all I'm going to do is find my center point by going corner to corner, marking that off, so that will give me an X marks the spot. We're going to take our Forstner bit and drill out our 2 inch hole. And now that we have all of our pieces cut, we're going to sand with 180 and 220 to make sure we don't have any splinters or any rough edges on our wood. And now that we have all of our edges sanded down perfectly, we're going to go in with our stain, which is our Western oak premium wood stain. And we chose to go with this color because it's a very warm tone that'll really show off that wood grain. And so all I'm going to do is kind of go over the whole thing with my stain, making sure that I get a nice even coverage. Once all that stain is on there, I'm going to let that sit so that it can really soak into that wood before I take it off. What I'm going to do is take the clean end of my rag and I'm just going to wipe all of that product off so that we have nice, even coverage. And now that that wood has had a chance to dry, we're going to apply our water-based polyurethane. This is not only going to protect our finish, it's going to protect the wood and give a very professional look in the end because everything will be smooth, even, and we chose to go in a satin finish. Now, when I'm using this polyurethane, the goal is to do about 3 coats of this so that we make sure that our wood is protected and that everything is evenly coated. And now that that clear coat has had a chance to dry, it's time to assemble everything together. We're going to go in with our DAP wood glue, and we're just going to add a small bead along both the top and bottom. I'm going to make sure that I have the nice wood grain facing forward, and I'm just going to kind of plop that on there on both ends. And then we can flip our piece, and we can start to clamp everything together, making sure everything is aligned. If any excess glue drips through, we're just going to wipe that off. Now we're going to let that sit for 30 minutes before we take our clamps off. Now this is our Countersink bit. This is going to take out a 45-degree area so that it'll have an area for our head to be able to fit into the wood. Now that we have our Countersink done, we can put our screw into place. And now that is completely flush with that piece of board. With everything dry, it's the moment of truth. We can take our clamps off and stand this upright and see if our glass piece is going to fit. And that's it. And just like that, we've created this modern hanging wall planter from scratch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and please feel free to tag us in all the inspirational projects and products you use from Varathane. I want to thank you guys. Over and out.